Well, good morning. I would like to begin today by going back to last week. I talked about using this time, this month, or not having church, kind of hang around the house and maybe do a little self-inspection, maybe a little healing, cleaning out inside. This week my daughter posted something on a YouTube page that she referred to listening to my talk, thought this might have something to do with it. I'm going to read it to you. I scribbled it down real quick. What if I told you that time does not heal all wounds? You know, maybe a cut finger, a cold, a pinched hand, broken arm. But time does not heal all wounds. It just gives the space to sink into the subconscious, where these wounds will continue to impact your emotion and behavior. What heals is going inward, inside yourself, loving yourself, accepting yourself, listening to your needs, addressing your attachments and emotional history, learning how to let go and to follow your intuition. This was written by someone called Young, Y-U-N-G, Pueblo. I don't know if it's a group or an individual. There's something to think about. Okay, that finishes last week. In our band, Take Your Medicine, the one lead guitar player that plays the lap steel, you may have remembered him. His name is Dave McClary. He sends me things once in a while. Earlier this week he said, thought you might enjoy this. A little story. Man walks up to the Buddha. He said, I want happiness. And the Buddha said, well, I don't think that's going to be too complex or too difficult. I want happiness. Well, first thing to do is let go of the want part. Because the I want, that want is just your personal selfish desire. Then you let go of the I, because that's the ego. What you got left is happiness. That's just a little story, a little humor in it, oversimplifying perhaps. I thought that's what I'd talk about today. What is happiness, or I want happiness, or happiness is, or just talk a little bit about maybe some aspects of being happy that maybe we don't think about very often. Seems that back in 1938, Harvard University began a study, 75-year study, on a life following of 750 people. And half of those people in this study were Harvard students. And the other half were young people, teenagers, young men, from the south side of Boston. Lower middle class guys. Most of them just going to work some kind of a job, married a girl down the street. Whereas the people in Harvard would have very different kinds of careers and be in a different economy, in a different social setting. Well, they conducted this study, and they found out some interesting things. When it comes to happiness, over 75 years, where most of these guys are now deceased or in their late 90s, the ones who experienced happiness often in their lives that experience of happiness had nothing to do with their profession, with their income, with where they lived. It had to do across the board. Stands out in bold letters. It had everything to do with having valuable relationships with other human beings. And as well as different parts of life that they track, they also track their human health, their health condition, and also their longevity. And there again, it didn't make any difference about how much money they made, what kind of job they did, where they lived. The only exception to that was people, the less financially wealthy people, sometimes worked in really bad environments, in factories with a lot of pollution and stuff. That had impacted their health. But they found out that the people that were overall healthier, even with health conditions, lived longer and experienced a healthier life, again, when they had healthy, meaningful, valuable relationships in their life. I heard of something once called the World Healthiness Report, or Happiness Report. World Happiness Report. I think it started about 2002 maybe. And it was quite interesting. It just came out a couple weeks ago, 2000, 2001, 2002, this whole time of COVID. And it didn't change from the last 3-year period, the last reporting period. The happiest people on earth, number 1, are from Finland. Number 2, Denmark, Switzerland, Iceland, Norway, Netherlands, and Sweden. You might be interested to know that the United States, the richest and the most wonderful country in the world, ranked 18th on that bit of information, which is 10 points better than their level of education. Relationships. I'm going to, everybody's got things to say about happiness. That's what this study and the World Happiness Report all concur, that this relationships, that's what creates happiness over and over, ongoingly in a lifetime. Maybe not like a marriage, maybe good friendship, maybe with other family. And everybody kind of weighs in on this. The Dalai Lama says, well, if you want happiness, you should be happy whenever possible, and be kind whenever possible. And the thing is, being kind, it's always possible. So is being happy. FDR said happiness lies in the joy of achievement and the thrill of creative effort. And Emerson, he's not too hard to figure out. He said, adopt the peace of nature. Her secret is patience. Mother Teresa says, spread love wherever you go, and let no one ever come to you without leaving happier. George Sand tells us that there's only one happiness in this life, and that's to love and be loved. It might be. But I'm going to offer to you today a very simple practice where you can start every single day going from going to a consciousness of happiness. Easy. every morning, after you get up and get the coffee going and the bathroom thing going, do your little morning ritual. Pick out someone you have relationship with. Co-worker, family, friend, relative, just someone you have valuable relationship with. And email them, text them, or call them, and tell them what that relationship means to you. You will not only start your day with an experience of happiness, you will, by the realization of the consciousness, this relationship has value to me. In so proclaiming or being aware that you're also demonstrating gratitude. And not only are you happier, think what this other person, how their day might start. And I just wanted to let you know, you being in my life is, to me, quite significant and quite wonderful. How would your day start if you woke up tomorrow, had a text on your phone or an email on your computer saying that? You know, I think that this time that we're going through right now, this COVID and whatnot, every week we kind of, like Richard says, I came for my pep talk. Thanks for my pep talk, Pat. We come here and we get our little pep talk on Sundays. And we take off out into the world. Feeling actually pretty good. I recently heard Dick Gregory do, it had some comedy in it, but mostly it was just stating an opinion or an awareness that he had. And Dick Gregory's got to be in his 90s. It just, when he started, he wasn't allowed to be on TV. Wasn't allowed to play anything but the Chitlin Circuit. And say what you will about Hugh Hefner. When Hugh Hefner had a TV program, he insisted, fought with the networks and the carriers and the sponsors. Dick Gregory will be on this or there won't be a show. The same with Sammy Davis Jr. So Dick Gregory was saying, we do our work, our spiritual work. We become aware of our attitudes, what we say and what we think and what we do. And we head out into the world every day. And armed with this awareness and this attitude, we're spreading light wherever we go. We just don't know, but we're spreading light. But the darkness of power, threatening, causes in us fear. All that repression that is happening to most of us causes us to experience fear. That fear that repression causes dims and can even extinguish our life. There's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing. I think that there's a couple things I'd like you to maybe remember. Gandhi said that happiness is when you think what you think, what you say, and what you do. And those three things are in harmony. You will experience and be in happiness. You know, this living in the moment. Who was it? Tolle, Eckhart Tolle, Thich Nhat Hanh. These gentlemen talk about the profundity and the consciousness building is when we can live in the moment. And I'm going to give you a little hint about something that I've noticed. I don't talk much about leadership. It's kind of necessary with folks. I think it can be very valuable. And when you look around the congregation, around your individual little community, I'm sure that most of you will say, well, I've never been a leader. I'm not going to be a leader. I got to know. It's not what I do. And I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to give you another little exercise. I saw this on a TED Talk a couple of years ago, I guess. I don't know, a long time ago. And you are leaders whether you know it or not. I want to demonstrate to you. Stick your hand. I can't hear your response. I can't see your response. So I'm going to trust you on the honor system. I'm sure you are all honorable. Okay, sitting there in your bathrobe. Hold your hands right out in front of you. Like this, anywhere. Now when I say 3, I'm going to count. And when I say 3, clap your hands. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to be curious as to how many of you clapped when I clapped, not when I said 3. People, human beings, have less ability to hold in attention what they're thinking or what they're told. They're much quicker and will hang on to and put more attention in what they see others do. Let's try this again. I'm going to hold my hands out in front of me. You do as well. And I'm going to count. And on 3, clap your hands. 1, 2, 3. I'm thinking almost all of you clapped your hands when I said 3, not when I did. Now the point is that I'm not playing a game with you. I'm trying to tell you, show you that what you do, other people watch. We are all leaders because, call it peer pressure, peer design, I don't know. But people watch what we do. And when you start your day happy, and you let your people that you have relationship know that's valuable. And when your mind and your words and your actions are all kind of in harmony, they come from this place of happy, that makes more happy. It's like, I heard somebody say one time, happiness is like a kiss. Really needs to be shared to be enjoyed. And when we share this happiness, this little procedure, little practice we can go through every morning or every afternoon. You can do it 3 times a day, twice a day if you want. You can do it once a week if that's all that fits in your schedule. But when you make that intention and you act on it, other people see you. Maybe it's somebody else living in your house. Maybe whoever you said, you mean a lot to me. Your friendship means great amounts to me. told somebody else became aware of this act of happiness, this act of gratitude, this act of declaring, physically saying, I value your presence in my life. Thich Nhat Hanh said, the present moment is filled with joy and happiness. And if you are not attentive and aware of this moment, you may not see it. Those 750 people all took this test. For 75 years, they were monitored, answered questions every 6 months. Had blood pressure taken, temperature taken, physicals. What gave them happiness in their life was their relationships with other people. And there are other ways to find that happiness. I've read some quotes this morning, offered some ideas. I think if you want other folks to be happy, if you want to see what you can do to make other people happy, practice compassion and love and gratitude. If you want to see happiness in your own life, how about practicing compassion and love and gratitude in your own life? The bean counters, the professional science backs this up over and over and over again. It's not complicated, it's not a mystery. It's not even that hard. Roger Miller wrote a song. You can't roller skate in the buffalo herd, but you can be happy if you want to. Can't take a shower in a parakeet cage, but you can be happy if you want to. I want happiness for us all. And so it is.